This video is brought to you by MagBak. Today I am thrilled to share with you my review of the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the best of what Apple has to offer. This year, the 14 Pro line get the biggest upgrades from the new dynamic island, 48 megapixel camera, and even more powerful A16 Bionic chip. I'll share my thoughts on using the iPhone 14 Pro Max as my main phone over the past weeks, as well as talking about my experience switching to the 14 Pro Max from the smaller iPhone 13. If you guys are thinking of getting your first Pro Max phone or are thinking of upgrading to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, then this video will cover everything you need to know. As always, I will leave all the purchase links down in the description. Before we start, my last giveaway was such a big success, so this time I'm giving away this brand new iPhone 14 in this beautiful blue color. If you guys want a chance to win, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment your favorite feature of the iPhone 14, along with your Instagram username, and then follow me on Instagram, where I will announce the winner on November the 27th. To start, let's talk about what's new with the 14 Pro Max. Well, this year, the iPhone 14 line gets 4 main upgrades. First is the Dynamic Island, a new way to interact with notifications and apps. And then secondly are some pretty significant camera upgrades, including a new 48 megapixel sensor and big improvements in low light. And third are new safety features, including SOS via satellite. And then fourth is the new A16 Bionic chip, the fastest chip in any smartphone. Let's talk about each of these features along with the 5 key pillars of any smartphone to find out if the 14 Pro Max is worth the upgrade. The iPhone 14 Pro Max features the same squared-off design as last year's 13 Pro Max, which is still a stunning matte glass and stainless steel design. I especially like it in this new space black color. So I said this in my previous iPhone 14 Pro review, and it's just as true here. The regular iPhone 14 and 14 Plus are well-built phones, but the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max take this even further. You really get a sense of craftsmanship, quality, and this premium feel that you only get with the 14 Pro line. The Pro Max also definitely has some weight to it, and I actually quite like this. It feels rock solid in the hand. On the front is the first big new feature that the 14 Pro Max gets, and that is the Dynamic Island, where Apple have seamlessly merged hardware and the software to create a new way to interact with your apps, notifications, and widgets. For example, you can interact with background apps, like quickly get your media controls or see turn-by-turn directions. Or you can quickly switch between multiple open apps, for example, your music and a timer. It works more like a small secondary display in the main primary display, and I quite like it. During my day-to-day use of the phone, I've been using it a lot and actually genuinely miss it when I go back to an iPhone without it. The Dynamic Island also houses Face ID, which is still fast, reliable, and secure. Compared to the smaller 14 Pro, proportionately speaking, the Dynamic Island actually takes up less space on this much bigger display, and this is great if you consume a lot of content on your phone, especially with the incredible battery life on the 14 Pro Max, but I'll talk more about battery in a sec. Compared to the smaller 14 Pro, the 14 Pro Max is, well, bigger. I know, took me by surprise too. But as for which size is right for you, that will depend on how you use your phone. For me, as someone who came from the smaller 6.1 inch size, going up to the 6.7 inch size was actually easier than I thought. It only took me a matter of days to get used to, and now I don't see myself going back. I would say the 14 Pro Max, while bigger, is still portable, pocketable, and semi-one-hand usable. To give you an example, if say I am walking down a busy street, I can still pull out my 14 Pro Max, use it with one hand to check notifications or read an email or scroll through text or something. But then when it comes to responding to a message, I can still do this with one hand, but more often than not, I'll instead use both thumbs and use both hands to respond. Now, for me, this is a relatively small trade-off, as in return, you get a bigger, well, everything. Text, menus, videos, and the larger keyboard are such nice quality of life improvements. After a couple of weeks with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I really come to love the larger display, and I don't see myself going back to the smaller 6.1 inch screen, and I think most people will have a similar experience. But let's take a closer look at the OLED display on the 14 Pro Max, as this is perhaps one of, if not the best displays you'll find on any smartphone. The 14 Pro Max has a 120Hz refresh rate for super smooth animations and movement on screen. Once you get used to having it, it's hard to go back to the 60Hz on the regular iPhone 14. We also get slightly thinner bezels along the sides of the display, which is always nice as it allows for more display in the same size phone. And then in terms of brightness, the screen now gets up to 2000 nits of brightness, making it the brightest display in any smartphone. Not only is the display visible in direct sun, but it's actually super clear and is a noticeable step up compared to the previous 13 series. Additionally, colors in photos, videos, and games really pop, and text is super sharp. And now, for the first time on an iPhone, the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max introduced an always-on display. Now, Android has had this for years, but Apple's approach is a bit different. I've talked about this in my 14 Pro review, but if you haven't seen that yet, the always-on display in the 14 Pros shows the wallpaper in full color, widgets, as well as the clock. Now, I very much enjoy the always-on display on my Apple Watch Series 8. However, on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, this is something I've actually turned off, and here's why. I found it to be too bright and actually distracting at times. My screen is always on, so therefore I just expect there to be something, whether it be a notification or the need to turn it off to save battery. Now, this is something that I'd probably get used to over time, but for me and for now, I rather have the always-on display off and save the roughly 5 to 8% battery life that I estimate the always-on display to use each day. On top of the display sits Apple's ceramic shield. Now, iPhones have become quite crack resistant. In fact, I haven't had an iPhone crack in many years now. But the screen does scratch really easily, so I definitely recommend putting on a screen protector from day one. I'll be sure to leave my recommended screen protector down in the description. One of the best ways to add some protection to your expensive iPhone and also add functionality to it is with MagBak. MagBak create elegant, minimal, and functional accessories for your iPhone. And this is the MagBak clear case. Now, not all plastics are made the same, and this case feels reassuringly dense and well made in the hand. But the coolest feature of the MagBak case is that they are compatible with MagSticks. This means you can mount your phone to any surface simply by adding a small mag stick, whether it be your dashboard, kitchen, or wall. And if the surface is already metallic, just place the case to mount. The impressive array of magnets inside the case also let you add other accessories, like the MagBak wallet. Here I have the Saffiano leather version, and it will seamlessly attach to the back of your phone. Now, because MagBak uses a superior strength magnet, the magnetic strength compared to regular MagSafe is up to 2 to 3 times stronger, which for a wallet is especially important. In typical MagBak fashion, they went even further by adding functionality. You can also use the wallet as a stand, and have also integrated a handy loop for extra grip. The wallet can hold up to 6 cards and cash thanks to having dual pockets. And then lastly is the MagBak multi-charger. Now, this not only lets you charge your phone, but also your Apple Watch and also your AirPods, all at the same time. To learn more about MagBak and all their accessories, be sure to click the link in the description and use code Dion Schuddeboom 15 off for 15% off your order. A big thank you to MagBak for supporting the channel. Now back to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Like the 14 Pro, the 14 Pro Max brings some big camera upgrades, namely that new 48 megapixel wide sensor. This sensor uses 4 times bigger pixels to create even better 12 megapixel photos and lets in more light to allow for higher detail in all lighting conditions. Additionally, the ultra wide as well as the telephoto lens get up to 2x better performance in low light conditions thanks to the new photonic engine, which uses software to enhance your photos after taking them. Images from the iPhone, especially the 14 Pro line, are always amongst the best, and after testing the iPhone 14 Pro Max in different shooting conditions and lighting scenarios, I can safely say that this is the best all-around camera system on any smartphone out right now. Photos are true to life, natural but still vibrant. Skin tones are accurate, white balance is always spot on, and in low light, the improvements are really big, creating less noisy and sharper images that have better color reproduction, especially when compared to previous years. And when it comes to video, this is no different. 4K video looks incredible. I've even used some B-roll shots in my YouTube videos that are actually shot on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. It also adds action mode for even better stabilization and 24 FPS to get that cinema look. The selfie camera now also for the first time has autofocus, meaning you get sharper images at more distances and more detail in things like hair, which is great because it always reminds me of how many gray hairs I'm getting. Okay, let's talk about performance. This year, only the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max get the new A16 Bionic chip, the fastest chip in any smartphone. Having the A16 Bionic chip is great for two reasons. First is you get incredible performance today. There is no lag, no stutters, apps load fast and stay open for long, and switching between apps is buttery smooth. iPhones are known for providing a super smooth and fluid experience, and the 14 Pro Max, especially with that 120Hz refresh rate, is the smoothest experience you'll find on any smartphone. And the second reason that the A16 chip is great is longevity. Now, Apple are known to support their phones for longer than anyone, and I would expect the 14 Pro Max to get anywhere from 6 all the way up to 7 years of software, security, and new feature updates. Not only is this far more than the Android competition, but also more than the iPhone 14, which does have the older A15 Bionic chip. The iPhone 14 Pro also adds two big safety features. First is crash detection, which will detect if you're ever in a car crash and call emergency services if you don't respond. Something I hope to never need, but is reassuring to have. And the second feature is emergency SOS via satellite, which allows you to connect to a satellite to send a message for help, even without cell service. Imagine you're out hiking, mountain climbing, or even in a remote area. This feature could literally be life-saving. As someone who lives in the city of London, I don't worry too much about losing cell service, but on holidays, however, I am glad to have this feature. With that bigger display also comes a bigger battery, and the battery life on the iPhone 14 Pro is amazing. I would describe myself as a power user, and even for me, the 14 Pro Max can last me all day and evening, still with around 40% remaining. This means it is possible to get 2 days of moderate use out of this phone. This is incredible and I love to see it. But just to give you some numbers here, you can see here I have my battery chart, and this shows that after 7.5 hours of screen on time, I still have 30% battery remaining. Now, on average, I found myself getting anywhere from 9 to just about 10 hours of screen on time, and this is the second best that I've seen in any smartphone. The first best, by the way, is the 14 Plus, which adds just about an additional hour of screen on time. The regular 14 Pro already has good battery life, but even still, it doesn't come close to what the 14 Pro Max has to offer. So, at the end of the day, should you upgrade to the 14 Pro Max? Well, this phone offers 4 big upgrades. The new dynamic island, big camera improvements, new safety features, and the A16 Bionic chip, the fastest chip in any smartphone. If you're thinking of upgrading from your iPhone 11 or 12 to your first Pro Max phone, this is the best time to do it, as this year, more than ever, the difference between the Pro line and the non-Pro line is bigger than ever. And then compared to the smaller 14 Pro, the 14 Pro Max offers better value, giving you more phone for your money. If you can manage the size, you'll want to go for the Pro Max for its incredible display and battery life. And again, believe me, as someone who came from the smaller 6.1-inch iPhone 13 and switched to the 6.7-inch 14 Pro Max, after just a couple of weeks of using it, I don't think I'm going back, and this has become my new daily phone. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, I will leave all the purchase links down in the description, and if you haven't seen them yet, I highly recommend watching my iPhone 14 Pro review as well as my 14 Plus review to see how all these phones compare. But again, this here really is the best of the best. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.